Welcome back to This Day in Irish History. I'm your host, Raymond Welsh. Before we dive into today's story, if you'd like to explore other significant events that happened on this day in Irish history, visit thisdayirishhistory.com. The link is in the episode description. Now, let's journey back to April 11th, 1912, when the RMS Titanic made her final port of call at Queenstown, known today as Cobh, County Cork, a poignant moment in Irish history forever linked to one of the most infamous maritime disasters of all time. When the Titanic anchored off Queenstown just before noon on that Thursday, it was already the largest, most luxurious ship the world had ever seen. Owned by the White Star Line and heralded as unsinkable, the Titanic had left Southampton 2 days earlier on her maiden voyage to New York, stopping briefly at Cherbourg, France, before arriving at the coast of Ireland. Queenstown was the last place she would ever touch land. That morning, 123 passengers boarded the Titanic from Queenstown, 3 first class, 7 second class, and a staggering 113 in steerage, or third class, most of whom were emigrants. These were Irish men and women, many in their teens and early 20s, leaving behind rural villages, rocky farms, and close-knit communities for the promise of opportunity in America. For many, this was the beginning of a new life. For most, it would instead mark the beginning of an unimaginable tragedy. Among the passengers who boarded that day were 14 individuals from the tiny parish of Addergoole in County Mayo. Theirs is a story that resonates deeply in the national memory. The Addergoole 14, as they came to be known, were mostly young women, travelling together in pursuit of work and the hope of sending money home. Only 3 of them would survive the sinking. The loss devastated the small community, where nearly every family knew someone on board. Even today, over a century later, the town remembers. Each year, Addergoole holds a solemn memorial at 2:20 a.m. on April 15th, the exact moment the Titanic slipped beneath the waves, ringing a bell 13 times for those lost, and once more for those who lived. The Titanic herself did not actually dock at Queenstown. Because of the size of the vessel and the limitations of the harbour, she remained moored offshore, while tenders, small boats named America and Ireland, ferried passengers, mail and supplies to and from the ship. 22 people disembarked in Queenstown, including a young Jesuit priest, Father Francis Browne. Browne had travelled from Southampton to Queenstown and took some of the last known photographs aboard the Titanic. His images, later developed after the tragedy, offer haunting glimpses of life on board, the passengers lounging, chatting, unaware of what lay ahead. The connection between the Titanic and Cobh has never faded. Today, the town is home to the Titanic Experience, a visitor centre located in the original White Star Line offices, where those final Irish passengers checked in. Just steps away from the harbour, where the tenders set off that day, the centre preserves stories and artefacts that bring the Titanic's Irish legacy to life. But beyond museums and exhibits, the memory of April 11th, 1912, lives on in the hearts of families across Ireland. For many, it is not merely history, it is personal. It is the story of sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, neighbours and friends who stepped aboard with dreams of America and never returned. It is a reminder of how deeply the story of emigration is etched into the Irish soul, often filled with both hope and heartbreak. The Titanic's last contact with land was Irish soil. It is a sombre legacy, but also a deeply human one, and it's why every year in both Cobh and Addergoole, communities still gather to honour the memory of those who left their shores aboard the grandest ship ever built and never came home. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Ireland's rich past. Please like and subscribe, and until next time, I'm Raymond Welsh. Slán go foil.